Girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, gee, have we got some fun stuff for you today. This is a special deluxe edition of Platoon Boom. We're going to start this one off with some Tier 7 medium work, a little bit of heavy gear from the Club Butcher. Me and Josh 8 are going to be rolling forward on Falls Creek. Then we're going to move along and have a look at some elephants dancing on Oasis Palms. There'll be myself and Storm Chappo. Pimp Daddy at the end as we have a squiz. I am running around going rampant with him. He is driving the ST and I will be in the Object 268, the ST-1. Now, odd one here, we've got the normal window lickers on the bridge at Falls Creek, wanting to play Sniper Wars and trying to cap an inanimate object while we push forward, but we haven't actually seen anyone over here. We've only got 2 people lit up on the screen. So Josh and Co decided to jump in the circle if they're being a little bit hesitant, and we force their hand, which is always a good thing to do. Always put pressure on by using the cap. Even if you don't intend to cap the thing from start to finish, the cap does a lovely job of it. Now we'll see a Cromwell pop here in a second because we are ever so slightly edging forward. And the Cromwell is a lovely tank to drive, the predecessor of this Comet. But the Comet absolutely dusts it up in terms of DPM, and you'll see why here. The Cromwell, look how quick we fire with this gun. Just shot after shot going into the very lightly armoured exterior of the box on wheels with a massive big engine that is the Cromwell. It'll do 60 kilometres an hour, and he really should have been a little bit more discreet there and moved along instead of trying to get the kill or even put damage into me, because it didn't really help him. Now, we do a whopping 3.5k damage on this this game. However, I did cut the edit very short, so there'll be no details at the end for you to have a squiz at. Now, Josh forcing the pace there in the cap circle, like a good man should, has brought that KV3 out. He's had to come up and kill the cap. He's got the slow traverse speed that you'd expect from that massive big derp Russian gun, and we are absolutely popping shots. Look at the DPM on this thing go. I often think DPM is a hugely overrated stat when it comes to heavies and even tank destroyers, but on brawling mediums like this, you can see we set him on fire. It is absolutely key, and you'll catch a look in a second. There's going to be a couple of nasty little enemies come around this corner, and you'll note just how quickly we dust them up. Now Josh has put one in. I'm returning serve. Josh has gone again. I'm ready to fire again. Engine on, dead. Josh has put one into him. I put one into him. Josh is going to go again, or we get there first. Beat him on a reload. Absolutely devastating firepower if you can get 2 medium tanks working in tandem at this tier. Almost like Tier 8 Tank Destroyers seems to be where Tank Destroyers really take off DPM damage-wise with the derp. Tier 7 seems to be where mediums really come into their own. And you can see the heavy-handed justice that is being dispensed all around the area. The Churchill's going to be our last action of note. Very tidy game here. A lot of fun to just pump away with these little Tier 7 mediums. We're going to be looking at the elephants dancing after this one, the T10 E3 and the Jagdpanzer E100 on Oasis Palms, and show you a little bit of how Chappos and I managed to have some fun. That said, before we do, we're going to have a look at the end of the game where I did bugger all. I did about 2.5k, and Chappos carried my ass. It came down to the last second. You're only going to see about 20 seconds here, if that, 10 seconds maybe. This is what it looks like when victory 6, 5, 4. Look at this. What was this IS-3 thinking? Pimp Daddy was on the other side on this one. That was his platoon mate. And the IS-3, all he had to do was hide, but he drove across the guns with a second left. Chappos with 6,280 damage. Very big game. Broad shoulders from the chap. Carried my butt all the way home. This is the next game on Oasis Palms. Talk about elephants dancing. We've got a T95, a T10 E3, an E100, a Jagdpanzer E100. That is, if the game was played purely on weight, we would just about be walk-up start winners every time with this team. Look at it. It's the fattest Who Ate All the Pies team in the history of World of Tanks. Up we go up the hill. Now, this is an interesting one, I find, this match, because it's really important to note when you're working with 2 tank destroyers. Now, it's not always advised because it can be very unruly when you start getting flanked. You're not the most maneuverable. You've got to have good support systems in place. You've got to always be looking out for each other and helping each other out. And it really play to your strengths. And know that when you get in trouble, your mate's going to come along with the big derp gun and give you a hand. And we do that very well here, I believe, anyway. So, my mate Chappo is in strife. He's copped one already, but there's people ahead of him, and I don't want him to start getting hammered by the guys on the hill. The E100 and everyone else is up there, but we've got this fellow on our left who is starting to give us a little bit of thought. I don't want him on my flanks, is what I'm really worried about. I definitely don't want that Jagdpanzer E100 over there that you can see to get involved as well. I figure he's not much left in the old hit point book. I've given Chap the affirmative. I am going to be moving forward just to let him know that something's going on. I'm going to be moving forward and pressing our suit. Now he sees me. He wants to get involved as well. He is going to try and do the old flank and spank. Now we get one in the side there. We return serve. Chappo has seen what's going on. He's moving as well. I'm just trying to give him a little bit of an ugly angle. There, Chappo has sorted him out. Here comes the Jagdpanzer. I am going to duck right back in the corner and then move forward to disrupt his turn. Now I missed my shot, but I did give him a bounce and make the angles awkward. And we nail him. You can see the 2 big alpha guns working in concert here. I know it's very much like elephants dancing. Now Chappos is doing the right thing. He is tanking hard in the middle. You can see it's come right down to it. The T95 is not doing much at the back. And he's got an E100 and an E75 at the same time. He's basically holding until I can get here and help him. Now he was good enough to turn, help me out with my little situation. And here we go. We donk a shot into the E75 and we realise now it's time to go to APCR. He puts 524 into that E75 himself, and then he moves back and I move forward so that he can use me as a mobile bit of a obstacle. They both want him because he's a one-shot kill, and that works to their detriment. They basically push too far forward trying to get shots on Chappos, and it means that it gives me really good shots on these guys. Very lucky, man, that E75 got back by half a second. I'm just making sure that I'm the target they have a crack at rather than Chap. Look at them. They're desperate. They have to go through me first. He's aiming for the top of my turret. No good, my friend. Negative, Houston. So now we're moving up on this E100. He realises the jig is up. It's still 2 tanks to 1. It doesn't matter how much damage his Chapo's got on the old odometer. It's 2 guns to 1, and we win out. All that's left now is the E75 on the opposition, who's been sniping at the back, thankfully giving us a bit of a hand. He's decided that he's going to roll forward now and meet us halfway, which is very kind of him. It's good to know that he's involved. No one on his team is very happy with him. So you can see, I really do call it elephants dancing, this platoon. It's great fun. It's just like watching the derp swing into action that makes me happy. You see things disintegrate in front of your eyes, and it's really good when it works. It can be very tough when it doesn't work because you're both so hard and unwieldy to turn around. Not as bad as the 2 T95 platoon, dual T95 platoon I did with Ace Infinity Strike a while ago, but it's certainly unwieldy. So there we go. Oasis Palms, the elephant dancing platoon. I think we both did around about 3K? Oh, both around about 4K. So pretty solid platoon carry. Now our last one, Pimp Daddy and myself again on Fails Creek. I'm in the Object 704. And what a great tank this has been. I loved the ISU 152. And this tank was a real surprise. I expected it to actually be more manoeuvrable than it is. It's actually a little less traverse-wise. It's a touch under the Object, I believe, when you first get it as stock. I think it's 19 degrees versus 21. But it's got that same ridiculous BL-10 gun on it. if it is a little more accurate, it's 0.39 as opposed to the 0.41, and a little bit better aim time. And you do certainly have a much, much better armor profile. It's not a great armor profile, but it's much improved. It's only 120 millimeters worth of armor, sloped at about 40 to 50 degrees. Now you can see Pimp here and I are going to the cap. All the other idiots in our team, you can see them over there, all hanging around the bridge. Unfortunately for us, the red team are not idiots, and they've moved forward to start putting pressure on and pushing the suit. Oh, this map, honest to God, people, get your head out of your ass and drive to the cap. Unless, of course, you're on the opposition force, in which case I'm very happy for you to stick around the bridge. This KV3, you'll see here what I mean about the armor profile. He's got that big, my God, what does the KV3 have again? The D25T. Anyway, plenty big gun, plenty enough to penetrate me with gold ammo as a tier 7 heavy, and plenty of derp. Now, we're just helping Pimp out here. We're using him as the meat shield. He's playing the role very, very well. He's doing a lot more than being a meat shield. He's also filling up the stats in terms of damage. But we're holding off at our own little section of paradise here. Makes life a lot easier if you've got a platoon mate you can rely on. And he's angling that ST-1 very, very well and very effectively. You can see he's just putting shots there and effective fire into that YAG. The T20 here, I have no qualms about. He has got the derpy howitzer, so God bless him for trying, but I don't know what he was thinking. He's never going to get past, and he's showing me the sides of his heavily armoured tier 7 medium. The BL-10 will say thank you very much and move on. Pimp saying negative, he doesn't want me to go out that way. I immediately withdraw my suit and turn around here to give one to the YAG Tiger. Bang. Thank you for coming. We're up a couple of tanks actually. We're cruising to the victory here, or so one would think. But it's worth noting, I'm on half hit points and Pimp's done yeoman's work there. He is on quite a low hit point. There goes the BL-10. We've all seen that before if you've got a BL-10. It should be a good shot. Whoopsie daisy, it's gone wild and free. So it's Pimp and I. We probably could have moved a little better in concert here. I should have followed him up and given him a hand, but I thought I had shots in the E50 and the T54, and they subsequently turned around to the right. I left Pimp in a bit of a spot with that one. He was on the right-hand side there. You can see he does good work. He gets one in, but he's also quite low in the hit point pool there. So I'm moving around as quickly as I can. He gets another one in. Got him. But those shots that he took there while we were doing that were probably pretty crucial in terms of the final result or how it comes down. Their E50 and T54 are left. There's Pimp and I. They've actually probably got just as many hit points in the pool as we do. So although it looks like a 3-to-2 gun game, that T29 is just standing there doing not much of anything. Look at him. Anyway. The ST-1 of Pimpo, you can see him there on the right. The T-54 is worrying me. I want to get out there and help Pimp, but I don't want to expose that flank. But he's like a bit of blood in the water for these guys. They really can't wait to get to grips with him. He's a low hit point pool. They want the kill. They think they've got this one sewn up. Get the Pimp, and they're all right. Oh, missed that one. And it cost Pimp his marbles. Unfortunately, sorry about that, Pimpo, but you did great work. It's now down to me. We've got one shot on this E50. We take a hit, and now we're pushing forward because we're on a reload, and we want to make sure the T-54 doesn't get past us. I'm not even interested about hitting him. I just want to get, you can see, get the gun down low. Oh, yeah! Great work. Great platoon game, that. Something to note, when the T-54 was there, you saw that I started advancing quickly towards him and moving to my left because I knew he couldn't get through on my right. You see, Pimp did 4.5k, I did 4,000. 3 big fat zeros from our bridge mates, the SU-152, the T-29, and the T-28. We did manage to get 1,100 out of our T-54 and nearly 700 out of our Pershing. So unlucky for Braveheart, Wayne, Steelheart V, and the other boys over there who did their level best. But the Pimp Daddy Bushka connection came home with the chocolates. So that T-54 there at the end was really crucial. If you're in a tank destroyer and you've got a medium and you've shot your load and you've got nothing else in the barrel and they're going to come past you, try to cut them off. At least make an honest attempt to get in front of them. At least then there's a chance that they stuff up going around, or you force them into an object, and by the time they get past you, just like the case was there, your reload is done and you have an opportunity to put a shell into them. If you let them get round behind you, you are dead in the water. Any good driver, and I'd suggest that T-54 driver, Absoon, was certainly a good driver. He had 3K and 4 kills. Will know what to do in that case. They will get round you and absolutely gut you like a fish. Keep contact, keep in close, and go for the body punches if you have to. Otherwise, keep your distance and don't let them get anywhere near you. I've been Bushka on Blitz. It's wonderful, as always, to present you with a little bit of content. We're fast approaching the 500 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm hoping to have something special up for the 500th subscriber. I may not get it done in time, but if not, then it will be very, very soon after. I really don't know if you're going to like it or not. It's a bit of a departure from the norm. I've not seen it done anywhere else on World of Tanks. So, yeah, fingers crossed. I've painted myself into a bit of a hole here. I'm going to have to do it now, but we'll know soon enough. Until always, boys, girls, subscribe. Check it out on in-game or go to the Asian Blitz Portal game server forums, the English-speaking section there for a bit of lively banter and chat. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Thank you for having me in your headphones today. Stay safe on the battlefield.